Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is The Frugal Life with Mercedes. Today I am going to do my weekend recap, and why I do that, I'm going to make tuna, so sorry if I sound distracted. I'm just trying to get a lot of stuff done right now. In the oven I currently have baked potatoes, which Brandon and I will eat on the next couple of days. I don't really have like a meal plan set up, but the potatoes really needed to get used up. So I'm thinking we're probably going to do like baked potatoes and eggs, or something like that. We got a bunch of eggs from Costco this weekend, but anyway, so I've got some tuna, relish, light mayonnaise, and an onion. Oh, and I'm gonna get my garlic. Let me see, sorry to go out of the frame, guys. I am gonna use this garlic and herb seasoning. I get this from the Dollar Tree. So not too much went on this weekend. Brandon and I needed to run some errands. So what we decided to do was, when I got off work on Friday, we decided to go run those errands so that we could, I feel like when we go and run errands on like Saturday, it ends up being an all day thing, versus if like I just got off work, then it's a little bit more like we're both tired from the week, and so we kind of like the errands seem to get streamlined a little bit better. Plus, like, we kind of needed a date, but we needed to get that stuff done, so I was like, well, why don't we just make a date of it, and when I get off work, we will go, I'm gonna need a fork, we're gonna go run our errands. And he was like, I think that's a great idea. So I got off work and we went to Costco, and our Costco, now I don't normally buy paper goods from Costco, but we wanted to kind of just see like what the deal was, because our Costco had been cleaned out because of the strike. So I hadn't been to Costco since before that happened. So we needed to go into the back of Costco anyway, which is where the paper goods are. So we get to Costco. Of course, I have a list, and we're getting the stuff from the list, which I did post a short on what we got. I didn't make it a whole big video just because we didn't really get all that much, even though we spent $130. So we go to the back to get some bottled water and some soda, and that is where the paper goods are, and there was none. There were no tissues, there was no toilet paper, there was no paper towels, there was nothing. So luckily we didn't need anything. It was more like, that's interesting. So we had kind of planned on eating at Costco, but Brandon and I were just, him and I kind of get overwhelmed sometimes, especially at Costco, which I'm sure you guys can understand. So he looked at me and he's like, babe, let's just like, finish up here, because we were done. We were, about to walk out. And he's like, why don't we go finish our errands and then we'll just like go to Five Guys or something. And I was like, that sounds great. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. And he's like, I am too. Let's go. So we get our stuff into the car and we go to Target. Now Target had a deal last week. When you spent $40 on personal care items, you got a $10 gift card back. And I've talked about this before. You can't get everything couponing. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if somebody's been couponing for 15 years or 50 years or whatever. There are some things that you cannot coupon for. So there is specific face wash that Brandon likes to use, and you can get face wash couponing, but this particular brand you can't, or there'll be like $1 coupon off of it, but the face wash is kind of expensive, so that doesn't really do too much. So I was like, okay, well, you're in need of this, and they've got the spend 40 get a $10 gift card. So we were able to get 2 of his face washes and a 2-pack of store brand Pepto-Bismol, just something to have in the cupboard. And I also found some, like, I forget what they're called. They're called like Chompies or something. I don't know. Oh, well, I've got them right here. Chomps. I was able to find these on clearance, and I also had an Ibotta deal for these. I wanted to pick these up at Costco, but they are so expensive in that giant pack, and I just was not going to justify it that evening. But anyway, so we got that, and I got the $10 gift card, and we're going to roll that into another personal care deal next time he needs face wash. So I got the tuna in there, and we're going to start with the onion. So that's all we had to do at Target. And then what was funny is a girlfriend of mine, she lives down the road from where we live, and apparently she had called me while we were in Target and left a voicemail, and in that voicemail she was like, hey, we don't have power, do you guys have power? So I tried calling her back and she didn't answer, so I texted her and said, hey, like, we're not home. We had power when we left the house. And so she said that, you know, they didn't have power, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't mention to her, like, we're just in town, you know, running errands. It was, you know, because I'm, like, trying to focus on Brandon. And I'm like, hey, babe, apparently we might not have power. And my girlfriend doesn't have power. And he's like, really? So while we were in the Costco, apparently he had gotten an email from our electric company saying that some people had been affected. It didn't specifically say like your apartment complex, but it said like your vicinity, some people have been affected. You might have been too. Ooh, these onions are strong. Woo! So, woo, guys, woo! Strong onion. So, anyway, we're like, well, that's okay, because we're going to go, woo, we're going to go out to eat anyway. So, trying to stay focused. Oh, these are strong. Woo, I should have done this after I talked to you guys. Oh, well. Y'all can see me making funny faces. So, anyway, so that all went down, and then I got a, anyway, so that happened. So while we were in Target, before we knew about the power outage, him and I had decided instead of going to Five Guys, we were going to go to the Chinese buffet because we hadn't been in a while. And because he asked what I wanted, and I was like, Five Guys would be fine. I said Chinese would be fine, Italian would be fine, you know, whatever. So we decided to go to the Chinese buffet, which is my favorite. And he had never been there before meeting me. And it's like a little hole in the wall, but they like, it's Chinese buffet, but they have like a hibachi in the back, and it's included with the buffet. And of course they have a tip jar for the hibachi guy, and so we always tip the hibachi guy extra, you know, not like what we tip the waitress. But anyway, so that's part of the reason I really like it, is because it's got hibachi. So you get to, it's hard to explain, I'm probably not explaining it correctly, but basically you walk into the restaurant, you tell them how many, they seat you, and then you get up to get your food, and it's all buffet. And then in the very back, there's a like a long hibachi, and there's a guy back, there's a few guys back there, and basically they have all the raw materials like raw chicken, raw steak, shrimp, lo mein, eggs, you know, whatever. And so you take a plate and you put whatever it is that you want cooked on there, and you put it in front of the hibachi guy, and he asks you spicy, you know, and I always say no spice, and Brandon always says extra spice. And then there's other people there too. I'm gonna wash my hands. There's other people there too saying what they want. And everybody always gets spicy. Now, I do not like spicy food, but because of like cross-contamination, My food sometimes gets a little bit spicy, but it's not too unbearable. It's really, really good. And then we also get stuff from the buffet, and it's really good. I really like it. So anyway, we get home. We do have power, but when we got into our apartment, the microwave light was blinking. So we had to have lost power at some point. Now, we live in an apartment building. We live in the very middle. So you go upstairs, there's like 7 apartments. Ours is like somewhere in the middle, and then there's like 7 more. And it's a long hallway that's got all these lights all around it. And I was like, oh my gosh, could you imagine if we had to walk up those stairs like in pitch dark? Now, granted, you've got your cell phone with the light, but still, like, and plus we had groceries, we had cold items. It was going to be a mess. Okay, lots and lots of onions. So, that was, luckily we had power when we got here. So, I think it took 3 trips from the car up the apartment stairs. We do not have an elevator. And Brandon is a champ because we got 2 things of water from Costco. And I'm a pretty strong lady, but I cannot carry those huge things of water that far because they're too heavy. I can carry heavy for short distances, but that wasn't going to happen. So luckily he's wonderful, and he did it, and I just came and helped hold doors. And I did help bring stuff in, but like that's why it took so many trips, was because he had to carry the water, and we got 2 of them. So he was trying to carry both of them at the same time, and I'm always worried about him, you know, hurting himself. Not that he's like accident prone. We got some sweet relish, but you know, he's my man, and I want to make sure that he's okay. So we get everything in. We've eaten. I film the Costco haul, and mind you, I was at work all day. So, like, I went to work, and then I'm gonna put some of this in there. And then we went straight to the store and straight to dinner, and so he started getting his shower, and I started putting stuff away, and I filmed the Costco haul. So that was pretty eventful. And then we finished watching Night Stalker on Netflix. And anyway, so that was just Friday night, y'all. So then Saturday we had family brunch. As you guys know, that once a month we have brunch with my family, and so it's at my parents' house, and then whichever my siblings are available, they show up. And my mom's friend was in town, and I refer to her as Aunt. She was actually in the room when I was born. So before we moved out of Ohio, we saw her quite frequently, and I was kind of raised alongside her children when I was little. So anyway, so she came to visit, and she was staying with my parents. So at brunch, it was actually all my siblings showed up, and their significant others, and my nieces and nephews, and my mom's friend. And my dad was not there. He was at work. But other than that, everybody was there. And that's kind of rare that everybody is going to get to be there or show up. So that was nice. And then what else did we do? Then Saturday after brunch, we went to the farmer's market, and I picked up a big thing of apples. I have never, ever, ever seen that farmer's market that busy. There had to be 200-300 people there. I guess it was for the pick your own apples. But Brandon's new going to that farmer's market. He's only started going with me this year. And he's like, is this normal? And I was like, no, I've never seen it like this before. Well, I added some salt to this. So this is done. And this is what I will be eating for lunches this week on my Dave's Killer Bread that I got from Costco. And now I can give you guys my full attention. So basically I just wanted the apple seconds, and he got some apple cider. So we picked that up, got the heck out of there. And we went home and we actually took a nap. I never take naps, but we took a nap. And on Saturdays, we always go to a local park, or there's a couple different parks or preserves that we go and walk at. And we walk for about an hour and a half every Saturday. So we did that. And the weekend before was Brandon's birthday, and he really wanted to go to this local ice cream stand, but we just didn't get around to it for his birthday, unfortunately. So I had told him, I said, well, I'd really like to take you to the ice cream stand because of your birthday, blah, blah, blah. Plus, the ice cream stand closes in October, but they don't really reveal when in October they're going to close until it's kind of just, oh, I thought Brandon was up. Sorry. I was like, what is he doing? That's my bad. Anyway, so they never really reveal when it's going to close until you see it like on Instagram. And sometimes they don't close till the last week in October, but we've had some really cold days. So anyway, this week will be their last week. And during the week, we really don't have time to do that because I get off work so late and he has to go to bed so early. It just wasn't going to work. So we went and got ice cream on Saturday. And also on Saturday morning, I had put chili in a crock pot on low and let it cook all day. And I had prepped it Friday night. That was the other thing I had done. I'd prepped it Friday night when he was taking a shower and I was putting everything away, and just cooked it up on Saturday. So we had ice cream, and then we got home from the walk and the ice cream and had chili for dinner. Then Sunday, Brandon went to work. He's got his little side hustle he does on Sunday mornings, and he fell back asleep for a little while, and then we got up and went couponing, and I posted my coupon haul. Lots of great deals. They're still kind of really low on stuff. I'm kind of surprised, but what are you going to do? You make do with what you got. And then he said he wanted to get Wendy's for lunch, and so we got Wendy's, and then we just kind of sat around and watched TV. We did some stuff around the house, like we needed to change the shower curtain liner. We had laundry to fold, dishes to put away, like that kind of stuff. And then we spent the rest of the day just like hanging out, watching TV. And he went to bed. That's why I turned, because I was like, I hope I'm not talking too loud. I probably am, but he can sleep through anything, luckily, because I'm a pretty loud talker. But anyway, so while he's sleeping, I make YouTube videos, and I do meal prep, and I get my shower, and I try to sit down and watch TV and take care of myself. But anyway, so that was our weekend, and that's what we did. And here is my tuna. I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, I did add some salt to this. But yeah, so I'll take this to work, and I'll keep this at the fridge at work, and then I'll put some bread. I have this container for that. So that'll make lunches this week super easy. And then when Brandon sees this video, he's going to be like, did you make me tuna too? Him and I do not eat fish or seafood. I know I've mentioned that before, but canned tuna, I love. I could eat all the time for some reason. I love canned tuna. Fish and seafood, just one, I don't really like it. It doesn't matter how it's prepared. And two, anytime I have anything other than canned tuna, it actually upsets my stomach, because a few years ago I discovered I really liked coconut shrimp, like the frozen kind, with like the marmalade. And I ate it a few times and I was like, this is so good. Like, this is what I've been missing. But I also love coconut, so. And then another time I ate it and I got really sick, and I thought it was a fluke. And then, like, I don't know, 6 months later I ate it again and got really sick, and I was like, okay, that's, you know, so I don't know. Anyway, so that is what is going on here. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel. If you did not know, I have an Instagram, The Frugal Life with Mercedes. Oh, and I do want to mention, because I have gotten questions before about Dave's Killer Bread. This one is 80 calories per slice, but it's an organic bread, but it also has like a lot of like really good like nuts and seeds and like whole grains in it, but it's not dry. It's actually really tasty and I really enjoy it. This is not sponsored, but I figured I would mention that because I heard a lot of people talking about Dave's Killer Bread, but it's kind of expensive, so I didn't want to invest in a loaf of it and it be disgusting, because I've had whole grain bread before that was like, you know. But I get it from Costco. And so it's a 2-pack, so 1 pack goes straight into the freezer, and this one we're gonna eat on. So anyway, all right guys, thank you so much. Until next time, bye.